So what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So the latest Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire event has just concluded, and in this they give a breakdown of all the different vehicle classes. They go into a little bit of the behind the scenes as to how they created these vehicles and how they captured all the different sounds for these vehicles. And then they dabbled a little bit into how you can make your character look. There's different styles to the different outfits and clothing that you could wear in this game. And overall, I thought that this Night City Wire was pretty exciting. I'm super stoked for all these different vehicles. They look a lot smoother and fine-tuned compared to what we originally saw 2 years ago, so you can definitely tell that they're making a lot of improvements with the vehicles. So there's a lot to go over in this video, and let's just get right into it. Alright, so going into the different vehicles that they added into this game, there are 5 different classes of vehicles that they're adding to Cyberpunk 2077. We have Economy, Executive, Heavy Duty, Sport, and Hypercars. Now the Economy class is going to be your beat-em-up cars. These are cheaper, clunky cars. These are probably going to be one of the first vehicles that you're going to be able to purchase in this game. They're not going to be very expensive, and as you can tell by the looks of them, they don't look like they're going to cost very much. My guess is that you could probably afford one of these cars after just doing a couple of missions, or they might even give you one of these cars for free, because they just don't look like they're held together that well. Now the car that stood out to me the most from this class, from what they showed, was by far the My, I think is how you pronounce it. It's that really tiny little box car. It only sits 2 people. It only has 70 horsepower, and when you compare that to the fastest car in the game, which has 1,660 horsepower, there's a bit of a difference there. So that should give you an idea of just how fast versus how slow the fastest and the slowest cars are in this game. So the My definitely looks like it's a ton of fun. You can take it onto sidewalks, you can run over people with it. I would imagine you can probably fit this thing in some pretty tight squeezes. You can probably go down different alleys and stuff with it. And overall, it looks pretty cool. You're probably going to see a lot of the economy class cars more often as you're driving around Night City and as you go out more towards the Badlands. So up next we have the executive class. These are the mid-tier kind of cars in terms of stats. They're not too fast, but they do weigh a lot, so I'd imagine that these cars can probably take a beating. You could probably ram some other cars pretty hard with these vehicles and they would still stay on the ground. I would imagine that you'll still probably see these driving around Night City, especially when you get into the richer neighborhoods and you're seeing people with a little bit more money. You're going to see these cars a little bit more often. I do like the looks of some of these cars, but this probably isn't going to be my go-to class when it comes to vehicles. But if you definitely want a car with a little bit more muscle, the executive class is for you. And then next up, I think this is actually going to be pretty interesting. These are the heavy-duty vehicles. These are big trucks and tanks. You can use these to just power over stuff, ram things, probably drive through fences. You can run over tons of people. This is the kind of vehicle you're going to want to use if you're going to be in a big gunfight. You're going to be taking a lot of damage. This is the kind of vehicle that you know you're going to be getting in some trouble with, and this is the best thing when it comes to packing a punch, so can't wait to test out these heavy-duty vehicles. Now next up is the sport class. I would imagine most people are probably going to have their eyes on the sport class. This is where you're going to find the higher speed cars, the muscle cars, the street racers. You're going to see cars with a little bit more speed in this class. These cars are often better looking compared to the other ones, so you might see these cars in the richer neighborhoods. And I can already tell this is probably going to be my go-to class. I really like the look of some of these cars. So I definitely can't wait to check these out. And then the final tier is the hypercars. These are the most expensive cars in the game, and these are the fastest cars in the game. They go super fast, they look really, really cool, and this is basically just late game stuff. If you have tons of money and you want to show off your money, this is the kind of cars to get. So I would imagine I will probably eventually get a hypercar once I get later into the game, but I think for me personally, I'm probably going to stick to the sport class. Now, as excited as I am for all these cars, and I do think that they all look really, really good, and I like the attention to detail that they put into these vehicles, I am still upset that you can't customize them. I wish that you could have your own personal vehicle and you could drive it into a garage like in Grand Theft Auto, and you could change the different parts and the different ways that it could look. I do wish that that existed. Maybe eventually one day in like a DLC they might add the option to customize your vehicles, but that does kind of suck that you kind of just have to purchase whatever vehicle you want and you're kind of stuck with it. But overall, I really like the look of all all the vehicles that they're adding. And then after the vehicles, we got a little video showing off all the different ways that you can make your character look. There are a number of different ways that you can customize your character in this game. There is a lot of fashion in Cyberpunk 2077, and they sort of showcase this in this video. If you want, you can go all out on looks, and you can just make your character look as cool as possible. If you want to sacrifice mobility and firepower and stuff, and you just want to look the coolest that you can, you have different options for different cyberware and stuff to just look cool. You can go all out with just making your character look as fashionable as possible. But then they also have options in this game where if you want to deck yourself out with all the best gear and you don't care about how you look, you can also go that route. There are a lot of NPCs that act this way as well. If you go out towards the poorer neighborhoods, a lot of people don't really care about what they look like. They're more focused on their gadgets. So you're going to see sort of these rednecky, kind of bummy looking characters who just don't really care about their looks at all. And then as you go into the richer part of the cities, you're going to be dealing with the Militech and stuff, and these people are going to have this appearance of being richer, being more wealthy. They're going to be wearing suits, they're going to have armor, and for me personally, I like the way that this looks. If I get to choose how my character looks, I want to go with this approach. I want to make my character have like armor, I want him to look fancier, and I personally just really like the look and the design of these clothing options. And then the final tier of style revolves around celebrities. This style really stands out compared to everybody else. These are going to be your really rich looking characters and outfits. These are all mainly celebrities. They have big furry outfits, big shiny outfits, completely decked out in cyberware, covered in silver and gold. I mean, this is kind of the top tier, richest of the rich kind of people will be all decked out in some shiny bling. And I would imagine as you progress through the game and you get more money, you can probably deck your character out to look as fashionable as possible. So this game definitely has a lot of different styles. You can make your character look a number of different ways, and I think that's just awesome, especially changing the way that you look with your cyberware. I mean, you can have more cyberware or less cyberware, and this all just changes the way that your character looks. So there's going to be tons and tons of different options for customization. And then we got a little 40-second teaser of this diner scene. It shows V before he had any cyberware, so he's just normal, straight up, regular V. I would imagine this is probably taking place really early into the game. This is probably going to act as sort of your like introduction to Cyberpunk 2077. So it showed off a few cool clips, and I think it was interesting that we got to see a glimpse of the main character not decked out in some cyberware. So overall, the Night City Wire event was pretty cool. It definitely has me even more excited than what I was originally, and I just cannot wait for this game to come out. Now that we know for sure that this game isn't going to be delayed, we know for a fact it will be coming out on November 19th. Going forward, I'm going to be covering a lot more Cyberpunk videos. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Did you guys like the Night City Wire event? What are you guys looking forward to the most in Cyberpunk 2077? And then if you guys haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. That way you guys don't miss out on any videos. Be sure to follow me on Twitch at SwanyPlaysGames Live, and be sure to join the channel's Discord. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next video.